Okay, so we are good to go. Hello and welcome everyone. On the behalf of Engineer Hub, I Kumar Vidyanivas would like to welcome you all in the session. We are back with another episode of Weekend in the Series, and guess what? This time we are having a speaker from every other student's dream, that is Atlassian. Yes, you heard it right. So this time we are having a speaker, Ms. Apurva Sharma, who is software engineer at Atlassian. So before starting of the session, on the behalf of all the engineers, like those who are our regular students, they know about this weekend series. But those who are new to our channel, I would give a brief intro about weekend series. Basically, on the behalf of all the engineers, I would like to thank you, Apurva, and other industry personalities like you, because the initiative behind this weekend series that we have taken to connect every student to the industry figures, because that was the major part was lagging in the tier 3 and other colleges. So yeah, the learnings and experience that you guys are sharing on this platform now, trust me, it's been a great asset for the whole community of engineers. So on behalf of all those engineers, I would like to thank you for accepting my invitation and coming on this platform. So yeah, guys, yeah,
Yeah, thank you so much, Kumar, for providing me this opportunity to share my experience. So, yeah, on
it's
this,
our pleasure. It's our
yeah,
pleasure. So let's start the session, which is themed as ki how to crack Atlassian interviews. So, but before that, Apurva, would you like to tell a little bit more about yourself to our audience?
yeah, sure. Okay, so yeah, as you all know, I'm Apurva. So I'm working as software developer at Atlassian. So I joined Atlassian in 2022 after completing my BTech from IGDUW. So before this, I also worked as an intern here for 6 months, and I did my summer internship at Microsoft in 2021. So if I talk about my journey into Atlassian, it was not a smooth one because I'll tell you I had PCMB in my plus two. So, so much of confusions and everything
Yeah.
where to go. But I landed here in this campus and I had zero knowledge of coding or anything. So I took one entire semester to get myself comfortable with this whole environment of technology and exploring my interest. Then I started with data structures and algorithm because I got to know that that is very important to crack any interview. I started with data structures, and I along with it, I also did some other skills like web development in order to build some projects and for resume building. So one thing I would like to tell that data structures and algorithms, it initially requires like 2 to 3 hours daily practice, which will help you to land up somewhere like in Microsoft or in Atlassian. So this is how I got my internship, and then finally I'm here at Atlassian.
That's very impressive, very inspiring. I guess you have picked every big tag in your bag that you have done internship in Microsoft, then you landed at Atlassian.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's great. Okay, so like Atlassian is known for its salary that he offers to a fresher, that 80, that 80 figures, 80 LPA. So would you like to give a brief intro about the Atlassian company, basically what they do, what kind of services they provide, or what kind of products they made?
Yeah, sure. So it's an Australian software company, as we all know. So it was founded in 2002. So people doesn't know much about it. So I would like to tell that it offers a comprehensive suite of products which are tailored to meet the diverse needs of businesses across the industries. So I'll just tell you some brief about few products of Atlassian. Like one is Jira, a very famous product.
Yeah.
So that is a versatile project management tool. So it basically helps to teams to plan, track, and manage their work efficiently, and keeping the transparency in this process. So that is one. Then other comes Confluence, which is a documentation tool. So where we can do content collaboration and knowledge sharing across the organization using this tool. Then comes Trello, which is for visual project management tool, and it offers very simple way to organize and prioritize tasks. Then comes Bitbucket, that is a version control platform. So these are just few innovative services which are offered by Atlassian. But yeah, I wanted to tell about this so that people know, because when I
Wow.
was at this point, I didn't know about all these things. So yeah, this is what Atlassian offers.
Okay, I guess this is a very helpful information that you provided because 98 to 99% students they don't have idea like what Atlassian is all about. So, okay, so
Right, right.
when we are talking about the hiring process, so can you give a brief insight about like what are the stages of hiring processes and what are the formats involved in it? Like how many rounds are there? How the process is carried on during the interviews and all?
Okay, right. So mine was on-campus placement. So there were 4 rounds. So first one was coding assessment round, which was the online coding test, and it is done on HackerRank. So I don't exactly remember the questions, but there were 3 questions, and they were like medium to hard level lead code questions. So, and the cutoff was 100% marks. So like the questions were majorly from DP, strings, and arrays. So they were the important topics for online assessment. Then after online assessment, like 12 to 13 students were shortlisted for interviews. So there were 3 rounds of interviews. So first interview was technical round, where I was asked DSA problem. So, but sometimes the students are also asked those fundamental subjects like OOPS and OS, but I wasn't asked at that time. So that question which I was asked, I don't remember that exact question, but it was from arrays and sorting. So basically, we started from brute force approach, but she was giving me hints and like picking up those hints. We went to some solution, and it was more of like a chat. The question was of medium level only, but we have to code pair link is shared. We have to run that code, and for the use cases which are provided, that code should be working. So that was my first interview round. Then comes second interview round, which is system design round. So in system design round, actually they asked us to design some APIs, like given on certain conditions, like return some unique IDs or some tweaks to this particular question. But they're not very difficult. It's just that you need to understand what they want to ask. Sometimes students like they just want to answer, and in a hurry they make mistakes over there. Because the questions are very easy, so they feel they know everything.
Yeah.
So that should be avoided. And in system design round, they also asked to write database queries, SQL queries. So one should be knowing how to write basic SQL queries. And some questions like load balancing, scaling vertically, horizontally, etc. Those technical terms. So that is being asked in system design round. And after system design round, 4 students were shortlisted. Then comes the final round, that is value-based round. So there are very least chances that in this round you will be asked technical questions, but that totally depends on the mood of the interviewer. So I wasn't asked, I was lucky. So that was basically a chat for me. They give us many situations, and they just ask us like when you might have encountered this in your previous college experience or anything. And based on that, I think we are being judged. Our leadership skills, our communication skills, our listening skills, like our soft skills are being judged based on our past experiences and how we are portraying it. So that is just like a chat you are having. Just have it confidently, and be like speak truth. Don't make any false stories because they will catch you there. So yeah, and finally 3 people got the offer, and I was one of them. Lucky you.
Congratulations, belated actually.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, so I think this is all about the whole hiring process in Atlassian.
Yeah, I would also like to mention about CTC here, because we in
Yeah.
the starting only we mentioned that 80 lakh. So 80 lakhs, yes, but how it is, I'll try to break down that. So how is it? Base salary offered is 20 lakh 80,000, right?
Okay.
RSUs given are 75K USD. That is for 4 years. Then comes sign-on bonus, that is 50,000, and performance bonus, that is 10% of base, which is given after you complete your entire year. So this total is approximately 81 lakhs. But if we see actually annually how much it is, so we divide that RSUs by 4. So that is 15 lakh. So now the approximately it would be 38 lakhs. So that is the annual package which we are getting at Atlassian.
Okay, that's great. I guess you have uncovered, that myth actually that around 80 LPA, that 6 digit, 7 digit figures. Okay.
Yeah.
So, first of all, I would appreciate you to mention that point. Ki while in interview, most of the students usually commit this mistake. Like they don't understand the problem before actually start solving the problem. So those who are about to appear in their interviews, so take it as advice. Ki you need to understand the problem before you actually start solving the problem. Okay. Okay, so like you have mentioned about the first round is online assessment. So is there any strategies or a kind of methods, any tips or tricks that you want to share with our audience who are preparing for their online assessment?
Okay. So for online assessment, basically just solve questions. So solving questions doesn't mean that you're crossing some number on lead code questions. What students are doing, I could notice somewhere that they come and say, I've solved 100 questions, I've done 200 questions, 300, 500, 600 on lead code. That doesn't matter. Quantity never matters. It's about the quality of questions you're solving. Whenever you're solving the questions, just try to draw some pattern between those questions. Like there is always a similar pattern between the questions, and on those similar patterns, the questions are being asked in the online assessment as well as in interviews. There are new questions are coming. It's just that we don't understand the pattern. We are just blindly solving the questions. And one more wrong approach is that every time whenever we are stuck, in the next 5 minutes we go to the solution and then we try doing it and we are like we have done this many questions. Never go to the solution before you have tried, you have done all the brainstorming at least for 20 to 25 minutes. If you will give that time to yourself, it doesn't matter you succeed in it, but your at least your brain will work. So you will you will try to find different directions to reach the solution, and in doing that maybe you are not able to solve that particular question, but that approach will help you to solve many other questions. So for online assessment, we should keep this thing in mind, practice questions, quality questions, draw a pattern among the questions, see that you have covered all the patterns. And if we talk specifically about Atlassian, there are some important topics like arrays, strings, DP, graph. They should be done on priority before the Atlassian online assessment is coming for you. And just be confident. That's it. Yeah.
Okay. And like you have mentioned about the quality questions. So how can someone differentiate between the normal questions that they are repeated in order and the quality questions that actually involve some kind of tricky part?
Okay. Yeah. So questions, first of all, if we see on lead code or on GFG, there is some pattern already drawn.
Yeah.
Like the questions are there in the way that they're in some pattern, but it doesn't mean that you start from easy questions and you're just doing easy questions. No, do one easy question for one pattern, then come do 5 medium questions for that pattern, and then do two difficult questions for that same pattern. That is required. It's not like what happens is students just do easy questions, easy questions. So that is also wrong, because you are not going to get any question from that easy part. That is for sure. Whatever question will come, that would be from the medium or difficult part. So take the pattern from easy questions, go for medium questions, then go to the difficulty level questions.
Okay, okay, that's great. There is one question from the student side. Okay,
Yeah.
like we practice questions on lead code and GFC, but there's only time limit, and our mind is usually used to be in a calm and relaxed mode. But when we appear in the technical assessments, online assessment, so basically there is a time. It's taken down. Okay, like you have to submit in 3 hours, 180 minutes. And when you saw that error, so basically how to handle those time limited pressures, and obviously you have also faced the same situations. So how did you overcome this
Uh,
situation?
Right. Okay. So the solution for this is like more practice. First of all, the more amount of practice you will do, you will be very confident before approaching any question, and that will reduce the chances of you being stuck in that position where the test cases are failing. And even if you have practiced nicely, if the test cases when they fail, we don't get to see the reason behind the failure of test cases in
Yeah.
online assessment, but somewhere because of that practice which you did, you will it will help you to draw the link like where it might have failed. So the key behind this is only practice. And just calm down before online assessment and just think that you know everything, whatever you have practiced. And as soon as you see that question in the online assessment, read that question very carefully, because that question has many hints, which data structure to use, which algorithm to use. Read it very carefully, like give 5 minutes in reading that question, and then finding out the approach on paper. Do not go straight away to code. That is never a good practice. Approach, right, like do the dry run on the paper, then only go for coding. It will reduce, it will minimize the chances of getting any errors, and also you being panicked because you know
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
Okay, that's a very honest answer, I guess. So, like you have completed your internship from Microsoft. So, while preparing for the Atlassian interviews, so how much did an internships, play a role in that in your profile basically? How does that boost to your profile? And if someone has not completed any internship, they have just only projects. So how can they overcome this part?
Okay. So I believe that during my interview at Atlassian, like it was mentioned in my resume that I interned at Microsoft. So I believe somewhere that might have played some role. But during my interview, I wasn't being asked any questions around my internship, except for value-based round, and
Yeah,
that's also because there are some situations which they want to know how I behave. So even if like there are many people who doesn't do some internships at some
yeah,
places in the third year, so they don't need to worry that we don't have internship there. Obviously you need to do some technical skill course or anything, but you don't need to worry. Just prepare for the placement there. You will be judged on your skills at that point of time. And not only for DS algo, you should have done some projects, like develop one or two skills like web development, app development, AI/ML. Something is definitely required. You will not be asked questions on that, but they give your resume an edge over others. So that's why it's required. It's not that if internship is not there, you will have some negative marking for that. Nothing like that.
okay, so I guess it's again an honest answer. So those who haven't any internship, so guys, don't lose hope. There is still a chance that you will be someone like who might be again in the session of engineer hub that who has cracked on Atlassian company. So, there has been a big hype around this Atlassian tag, Atlassian company. So, like, I would like to know, like, what are the key characteristics of Atlassian interviews that makes it unique as compared to other techie companies?
Okay. Okay, tough question. Yeah, but yes, first thing I'll tell you, which I noticed during interview itself, I gave interview for some other companies also before this. When I sat for interview for technical rounds,
Yeah.
they straight away told me that if you have any language specific issue, like Java was my language, so if you have any syntax issues or anything, you can Google it. There is no problem. You don't need to take permission for it in between. So I think that was so specifying for me personally that I felt very comfortable that I can, because it happens many times. We know the logic, even in our work, we know the logic, but we don't know exact syntax to apply it. So they were very generous about this, that you can Google it anytime. Like I was not very perfect with SQL queries. I knew the logic, but I didn't know how to exactly write it. So I was being helped there. So this I find which was a bit different from other tech companies. And the culture, like what they actually speak about their values, they actually we live it daily in our
Okay.
day-to-day basis in our work. So that's what make it bit different from other tech companies, that it is an open company. When if they say, they actually do it every day. So yeah, that is a key characteristic of Atlassian.
Okay, that's good. Like you have mentioned, ki when you were asked about your internships, they're looking for some short kind of qualities beyond this technical. So, are there any specific set of soft skills or qualities that actually matters in Atlassian interviews?
Communication skills, but I think it matters at every place, not only at
Yeah.
Atlassian. So effective communication is valued everywhere. So basically, every company, Atlassian also, they seek candidates who can articulate their ideas very clearly, and
Okay.
uh, as well as like listen, actively listen. Listening skills should be also very good, and collaborate with others. So strong communication skills because it enables effective teamwork and the ability to convey all the complex technical concepts to anybody, maybe during your interviews or after you join something, to the stakeholders. So that's why communication skills is very important. Then comes problem solving and critical thinking. So problem solving, like solving the problems analytically, thinking critically, and like coming up with the innovative solution. That is also very important, and that is what is being judged in the value-based round also, and in the technical interviews also. And then comes collaboration and teamwork, very very important. If we don't know how to work in a team, how to manage in a team, then we are we are not a good asset for any organization. So that's what is very important. Then being flexible, creative, and should know how to manage the time. So, and apart from
Okay.
all this, cultural fit, very very important for Atlassian. Like whatever values, a person should align to their values.
Would you give a brief insight about this cultural fit? That I guess it's a new word for most of us. So
Yeah.
will you please demonstrate this cultural fit?
Yeah, sure. So Atlassian has that unique company culture, which is like it has some values, openness, transparency, collaboration. One of them is open company, no bullshit. One is don't mess with the customers. So there are like five such values. These two, open company, no bullshit, is the most important one. And when they look for the candidates, so they actually see the candidates who align with their culture and share their values and can thrive in an environment that would promote those values. So that's what I said in this managerial round. Do not say anything which you have not done. Be very open about your personality. They'll actually value it. When it was my last round, I didn't say everything very positive about myself. There were certain situations where I wasn't very good, where I didn't act how I should have been. But I told that honestly. So you're being judged on your honesty also, apart from all these things. So that's why cultural fit is like fitting to their values.
Okay, okay. Uh, Purva, it would be great if you can show a demo of that be a very open personality. Like how were the question that you were being asked at that time, and how did you answer that question? So a kind of demo type, can you provide us?
Yeah, I don't remember the questions exactly, but yeah, I remember one situation of mine. I'll tell you where I was wrong.
Yeah,
So there was one college project I was doing. So that was a team project. We were a team of four, SIH project, right?
yeah,
So very important project. So I was active for first few days because that was my idea. So I was very happy. Okay, these people, you took my idea and everything. I was very active. Then saw like people are not very interested in working. Then I was the first person to lose the interest and just get escape from that teamwork and just get out of it.
yeah.
And then on the last day, when it was a presentation day, I came there and I said, okay, yes, what has all happened? And I was there very ready for the presentation. Okay, I'll give the presentation. So there, obviously, my teammates were not very happy, and they gave me this that you were not working. You only want people to work for you. Like that was the personal. People used to think about me that she's the kind of a person who doesn't want to work and want other people to work for her. Like I had this. I want to manage things, but I don't want to do things directly. So that was one incident which was not very positive from my side, but I was being asked questions about this teamwork and something sort of like that. And I told it as it is. So what response I got from him is that it was very like honest of you to tell me this incident. And now, because I did my internship at Microsoft before this, and obviously I worked there in a team, I changed it. So the guy understood that I knew what I did wrong and I improved it. But I told him both the things. So that
Okay.
was one thing. So the questions which you will encounter would be like what projects you did, what societies you were part of in your college, how did you perform there, how was your teamwork. So be very honest. And I was very honest during that point of time.
Okay, that's great. So the next question is from the user. Like we started this webinar by introducing the Atlassian product and services. Like how it is important to know about the Atlassian products and services before actually appearing in that interview. So is this play a role while during that?
Yeah, right. See, if we are sitting as a fresher, like coming as a college grad, so it won't be. I'm not saying it's not at all important, because if we are sitting for any company, we should at least know what that company is doing or building, because that will show our interest and enthusiasm in being a part of that company the longer run. But if it's for some like experienced position, then it is very much important to know about Atlassian's products and services. Firstly, to show that genuine interest and enthusiasm for the company. Nextly, in the technical discussions or scenarios we can have about their products also. So if we have that strong understanding of the tools, so it can enable us to engage in more meaningful and deeper conversations. And then we would be able to answer questions more confidently and showcase our ability so to apply those products effectively in the various scenarios provided. And the another thing is, after every interview, we are being asked like if you have any questions for us. So if we have some knowledge what they are doing, we would be able to ask some good questions, which will also make them feel that yes, we are giving it a thought and we are very keen to be the part of Atlassian, and also we'll have some meaningful discussion at the end of interview. So that's why it's important to just know.
Okay, so guys, it's very important to research about the company actually. So like it was all about Atlassian. So you can search it everywhere, anywhere. But those companies that who are about to appear in the interviews, but there's not such much information or there's no any big hype around that. So you can go to LinkedIn, search that post, these news articles. I mean, you have to just research and research. Okay, so I guess we are about and we have a limited time frame, but still at the end, any single piece of advice from your end who are about to appear in their placement cycle, because after this 1 month, they most of them will be appear in their placement cycles. Their placement cycle will start it. So a single piece of advice from your end.
Yeah. So, firstly, I'll advise you to be very confident. You might have practiced a lot. Just believe on yourself. For interviews, please first understand the problem, plan your approach, write all the test cases, think aloud, and choose the right data structures and algorithm, and then only go and start coding. Don't straight away go and start coding. That doesn't give some positive impression. That is very negative. At each and every step, interviewers should be knowing what is going on in your mind. That is very, very important. So just be very confident in your interviews. I know we are always nervous before any interview, but be very confident and believe on yourself and just feel that you know everything. It would be very easy, and no new questions are coming. It's just that they're tweaked in a way. So just understand what they want to know, and yeah, you will be good to go.
Okay, that's good. I guess this will boost many students' confidence. I guess be confident part. So yeah, guys, I guess it was a very engaging and nice conversation with you, Apurva, because we have crossed 30 minutes time frame and it was like we have started just 5 minutes before.
Fine.
So yeah, all the credit goes to you. And once again, thank you so much for joining the session. And thank you guys for joining this webinar to you too. And we'll see you there at the next week. Okay, then, bye bye.